Hey guys, it's Jasmine. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another balloon video. It's kind of last minute. Well, I kind of knew about it, but I kind of waited till last minute to do it. Today is actually my niece's birthday, and my sister's doing a TikTok theme party, and so she got some balloons off of Amazon that have like the little TikTok thing on them, the little logo. Oh, let me, because it's okay. Well, I can't. All the black ones are folded on the thing. There we go. And so this set came with the black, the white, and some clear confetti balloons. So it's only 15 balloons because the set came with like a tablecloth, like the goodie bags, a banner, little foil backdrop thing. Like it was a whole set, but it only came with 15 balloons. And so I'm going to add black balloons that I already had, and I just grabbed colors that I thought would kind of go. And so I'm going to add a couple white, some pink, and I'm going to be using this blue. I do have this blue, but I'm going to blow it up to see what it looks like once it's blown up, because I may switch or I may use both. I'm not sure. In the last balloon video, I did it in 2 sections. This one, I'm just going to do it as one long piece, because this garland actually isn't going to be that long, because it's going to stop basically like at table height. So it's almost like a half one. But yeah, it's gonna be quick, simple, easy, and just follow along, and hopefully I will be able to show you how I do what I do. But I'm gonna start by actually trying these to see what color they are. Oh, is this something? Oh, that's actually not bad. Don't want to work. What are we doing? First, let me put it on the table the right way. I might be able to use these, and maybe not use this one. Let me see what this looks like. I think I'm going to go with these. I may incorporate some of these if I need to, but we'll see. Okay, so per usual, I start with 2 balloons and I cross them like an X, wrap one around, and then I tie this together. Look at it right. Now it's up to you if you want to do all your pairs of the same color, or if you want to totally make it random. It's up to you. I am probably going to make it a little random, so I probably shouldn't have tied these 2 together, but that's okay. And so I'm just going to blow up all the balloons and probably fast forward a little bit, and then we'll be back to string everything together. Okay guys, I am back and I have my balloons blown up and I have my fishing line. I buy this at Walmart. You can get it at Walmart or any like sporting goods store that sells fishing equipment. I prefer this over anything else. When I first started, I used to use like ribbon that you sometimes find on the end of balloons, and I used to buy that at Dollar Tree. That works as well. The only thing with ribbon, you can see it, but if you get it a similar color to your balloons, it's not as bad. It's cheap, it works, but this is about $3 maybe, and it's 250 yards, so this will last a lot longer for the price. And it's clear, you don't see it unless you are very sloppy with your work, but it's almost impossible for this to really show. Like, you probably can barely see it unless I move it a certain way. So let's go ahead and get started. I like to start mine with my smaller balloons first. So I do not measure my balloons. I don't think that you have to have them all a certain size. Sorry, somebody was walking by outside. And I thought she was gonna let her dog poop in front of my house, so anyway. So I'm gonna start, by the way, I added a couple silver balloons throughout, and I, did mix them. They're random pairs together of different colors, and yeah, I'm dropping them all on the floor. Okay, so I like for mine to kind of gradually get bigger or wider toward the end, but it's not actually necessary. It's just something that I prefer. I like to take a smaller set in the beginning versus something that's a little bit bigger, and they're all just different in size, but it really does not matter. So I am going to grab my fishing line. I like to leave a piece, probably about 2 feet, just random estimate. Random, is that what I'm looking for? I don't think so. Anyway, about 2 feet to hang, because when I hang my garland, if I'm using a backdrop, which this time I'm not, I like to tie this around the backdrop in order to attach it. Or if I'm going to put it on the wall, I'll use this and a thumbtack in order to get my garland on the wall. And I will be putting it on the wall today. But so yeah, I'm gonna leave this hanging, and I'm going to connect my garland starting about 2 feet in. So I'm going to just take this and tie a knot around this balloon, or this set of balloons. And you can double tie it. Okay, and then you want to just make sure this remains hanging and doesn't get caught up in your garland, and we are going to be pulling everything from this. So I kind of just leave this off to the side because it's a circle. It kind of just unravels on its own, so I don't really have to even like mess with it unless I create a tangle. Okay, so now that I have my two and I have my piece hanging over here, I'm just gonna grab another set of balloons. Okay, I don't want that one. Sorry, I was not trying to be picky this early in the, okay. So we are going to take our two sets, this middle where they are tied at, we are going to press them together, as you can see. And I kind of just hold them like this, but you can't really see my fingers because the balloons are in the way. And then so make sure you're grabbing from the fishing wire that is still attached to your spool, and we're just going to wrap it in a figure-8 motion. And as I wrapped that, I noticed my hanging piece was getting caught, so I'm just going to pull it out and pull on. Okay, And so you only really need to wrap that 3 or 4 times, but if you feel like insecure about it and you want to wrap it 10 times, by all means, go ahead. You have plenty of fishing wire and you're not going to run out. So, and I like my fishing wire on the floor because it rolls a little bit better. Okay, and then you're just going to grab your next set of 2. I want to add some pink. So I'll get a set that has the pink. And same thing. So you have these here and you're just going to press this as close as you can to that middle piece, the last middle piece that you put there. And as it gets longer and wider, it's going to be harder to press each middle together because the balloons are big, and so there will be some resistance. But just get it as close as you can and wrap your fishing line pretty tight, not tight to where you're going to snap the line, but tight enough to keep it together. And just keep going until you run out of balloons. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to press this together. Hold my fingers kind of like this to keep them together. And grab my line and wrap it in a figure 8 motion. Add 2 more balloons and same thing. Also, do not cut your circulation off on your finger. So if you feel it around your finger, pull your finger out as soon as possible, because you don't want to have to cut the line and ruin the whole thing and then start all over. So I have this much done, And so I'm going to try and make this, well, not going to try, I'm going to make this an L shape. So this is the start of it here, and this is going to be my back, and my L is going to come down here. So instead of, I'm trying to see how I can explain this. Instead of continuing to put a balloon, which next it will go in between these two right here, I'm going to put my next set kind of here to bring it downward. So how I was before, just continuing the next right here, it would have gone in between these two. I wrapped that pretty good, probably more than the regular 3 or 4 times, probably a little bit closer to 10. And you want to make sure this is quite tight. And let me see what color I want to start with right here. So I start this. So I'm just going to kind of, this is hard to do while I'm sitting on this couch with all these balloons and then these pillows I have. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of place this here and just use the fishing wire. Let me see if I can turn this to show you. So where my fishing wire is hanging here, I'm just going to kind of, it's not going to be close, it's not really going to fit, and that's fine. So if you wanted, you could continue on, and this is all bendable and moldable because it's fishing line and because the balloons. So you can kind of flex it in the shape that you want, but I don't want to do that. Probably will make it easier for the video, but that's really not what I want to do. So I am going to just place this right here. Instead of here, where it would normally go at the end, I'm going to place it right here under this balloon. And take my fishing line and just wrap this. And then I'm going to figure 8 it around these balloons up here. Sorry that I'm turning this all around, but it's the only way that I can actually do this. So these are the balloons I just added. And now it's pulling this kind of tight so that they fit together and it's not like it's a separate piece kind of hanging from it. So that's the end, and these are my 2, which I probably could have put them a little bit closer to the back over here, but that's okay. This is where they are, and now I'm going to add 2 in between these 2, and we're gonna have this go downward. I actually probably could pull it over this way some to get it closer to that back side, because again, everything is flexible and you can kind of shape it and mold it as you want it. I want that balloon turned that way. Oh, why is she calling me? So my niece was trying to come over, but I put together a bike for her and it's literally right there. She cannot come over because she's not supposed to now. Anyway. So these are the 2, and I'm just going to grab 2 more, and I'm just going to place them right in between. My hand is in here. I'm just going to fit these as close as I can. String. Wrap it around. And then, just like before, continue on 2 by 2 by 2 until you finish all your balloons. And that's literally it. So this is my last pair of balloons. And so I'm going to stick it right in between these two. Now this is I think this is like a 15-inch balloon. I didn't blow it to full capacity. I didn't want to plastic, but trying to pinch this together, but it's end up hard. I'm gonna grab my fishing line, and then I am going to wrap this a lot of times. I don't count necessarily, but I just wrap a lot. If I had to choose a number, I would say 15, but I don't know. Just wrap until your heart is content. Because that's our last set, and there is no like real actual tying. I just wrap it a lot and it stays. And when I'm done, not when I'm done. So once I put these up, when it's like at my house and it's like my birthday, or we do it for like one of my sisters or someone, we leave these up for like a week and they stay, they don't unravel, the balloons don't deflate. So you can, this will last. So if you, like me, like wanted to like prep your balloons the day before, which I do for a lot of these garlands, it's perfectly fine and your balloons should be fine. Even the Dollar Tree balloons last for me, so. I know people swear by certain brands of balloons, they're better. Now for business, absolutely. If you're charging top dollar, I recommend using a higher quality balloon, of course, but some of these lesser expensive balloons ours just as good. And I personally like the shape of some cheaper balloons over the shape of some balloons that cost more. Yeah. So this came out a little bit different than I actually wanted. Take out these rings and stuff so that you can kind of see it a little bit better. Let me see. Okay, so this is my L shape, but as you can see, this is like a little too far inward, but it is moldable. I did kind of shift it some because this black balloon that's back here was like literally sitting right here, and I feel like it gave it a little bit of a better shape to move that one out of the way. But I would have liked for this to be a little bit kind of starting at this point, but that's okay. It is what it is now. But everything, honestly, as you can see, is moldable. You can shift it and shape it and do whatever you want with it. But this is what I have. It's that long. It's just going to go over a table. I do have piece of black fabric that I'm going to be thumbtacking to the wall, and then I'm going to put this over it to use that fabric as like a backdrop. The balloon package that she got did come with some, what do you call those, Mylar balloons. Let me grab them and show them. Hold on. So it did come with, this is 2. So I will be blowing these up. A lot of times these come with a straw. She didn't give me one, but I think a regular plastic straw will fit through here. I may have some that come with the balloons in my balloon bag, my balloon storage bag. So I'll check and see that, but I will be attaching these when I set everything up. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Oh, I forgot. So I still have my fishing line attached to the balloons and I have to cut the string. So just like the top, I like to leave some string still attached at the bottom as well. Sometimes if my balloons are not in the shape I want, I can use this string to pull the balloons in the direction that I want them to go. And it also helps it, you know, with placement on the wall, but like it helps with shifting the direction. And I also sometimes will, hold on, let me cut this. I will cut a piece of the fishing line and maybe in the middle somewhere attach another piece for extra support, and also again helping with positioning the garland in the shape or direction that I want it as well. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I will add a middle piece just for the sake of the video. So I will cut a piece that's going to be about, probably I'd say about 4 feet, because you need the extra slack in order to be able to tie it and reach around these balloons because they are wide. So let's see. So I feel like I can get my hand in here. So I shimmy the fishing line down, kind of in between the balloons. And so I'm just going to tie a knot. So you basically want to put it down around the base of one balloon. Tie a back together and tie another knot. But you have to leave enough slack so that you can actually do that. And you can either cut this string or you can just tuck it in. There you go. I'm gonna tuck this one. And then I have the rest here. It's pretty long. This is hanging. Now you can tie this. You can take this, fold it in half and tie it, and then have a loop. I don't know if you can see the loop. Sometimes a loop is more helpful because you can just stick the thumbtack in the wall and hook the loop over the thumbtack. But it's up to you. Figure out what works. But that's it. I'm about to go to my sister's house. She literally lives almost like next door, but not really. And so then I'll be right back.
We got to chair down. Yeah, we have.
Okay, no. Watch out. Stop it. Pick it up, Nova.
We have stuff.
Nova. No, it's not for you. So little Miss Nova really wanted to be a part of this video. She actually wanted it to be her video. But we're just gonna go ahead. I'm going to thumbtack this black fabric to the wall. I actually got it from Walmart. You can find cheap fabrics that are $2, $3, $4, $5 a yard, and I believe this is just 2 yards. And yeah, I'm just gonna use thumbtacks to hang it to the wall, and then we'll add the balloon garland on top of it. So of course, little Miss Nova knocked over my phone as I was recording. But I now have this fabric on the wall. I'm going to use a couple more thumbtacks to secure the sides. But I have my garland here. And my sister is just taking one of her decorations off of her wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a couple more thumbtacks, smooth the fabric to the wall, and add these thumbtacks. So I would normally create a loop and use a thumbtack on the wall and place a loop over that thumbtack, but my sister happens to have one of those ceiling hooks for like a hanging plant, and so it's just easier for me to tie the string around that that hanging plant thing. So if you have one, it's a great help for this type of thing. So now I'm just grabbing that string that we added to, say, the middle like area, and I am tying a knot to make a loop. So I make one big loop, but then I tie several knots throughout that. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but if you tie several different knots in it, it just gives you several different lengths or 7 different areas that you could hang on a thumbtack, because depending on the length of your string, just tying it to make one loop, it might not hang as close or as far as you want it. So tying several knots just gives you several options of how tight or how far you want the string to be pulled, if that makes sense. I don't know that it does, but that's the only way I know how to explain it. And so now I'm grabbing our bottom string that was at the end, that last one that we cut off, and I am going to thumbtack that as well. I made a loop with that one as well, and I am putting a thumbtack in the wall and then stringing the loop over that thumbtack. And so once I did that, it actually made that middle loop, because it changed that position of it and made the middle loop not as tight. So I'm gonna have to go back in and put it on a different notch based on those knots that I tied in it. I'm not sure if any of this makes sense, but basically what I'm trying to say is I just had to readjust that middle section because I feel like I'm making this more confusing than it actually needs to be. And so now I'm just going in and shifting the balloons a little bit, turning some of them so that the TikTok, I don't want to say design. Yeah, the TikTok design is showing on some of them. And so now I'm going to go ahead and blow up the Mylar balloons that I was telling you guys about earlier. So here I'm just going to place the balloon right there in the valve. There is a little tiny like clear piece, so make sure you get it under there. And I just use a regular straw. This is like a regular drinking straw, a plastic one. And yeah, stick it in there and you just blow it up. And I blow both of them up. I take one and place it on that black area, and then I take one and I use fishing line to tie it around the balloon garland, and that's how I finish it off. So I secure this one to the wall with a thumbtack. And there is a little hole on there for tying or hanging, I guess. And so yeah, I actually used rubber bands for the one that's on the wall. I tied a couple rubber bands together, thumbtacked it to the wall, and then for the other one, I used fishing lines to secure it to the balloon garland. So we are finally done. This is the final look of everything. And that's it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Give us a subscribe, hit that button.